Hi, my name is Morgan Kilborn, and this is my new sculpture, Oceania. As you can see, she is a mare that is swimming. She is on a seaweed base, and she comes with some clear resin accessories that I'm calling water effects. So, what I'd like to show you today is how to avoid doing, ready, this to your finish. The water effects are something that you add on after you're done painting her, and if you add them on well, if you add them on too tightly and you're not careful, you can obviously scrape up your paint job just as you could with tack. So I really want to make sure that nobody's unhappy here, and I wanted to go through and do a quick explanation, show you where this slides on and off, and give you some tips and suggestions. First of all, as you can see, it's pretty loose. And that's important. That's one way to make sure that you're not scraping up your paint job. You can widen it just very little carefully. Now be careful, don't put too much torsion, don't pressure too much on the clear acrylic or the clear resin here, because it can become cloudy, and it will become cloudy in the areas where you kind of make little micro fractures in it. You can also use sticky wax to hold it in place, or glue when you're finished. Obviously, you're going to want to do all those things after the horse is finished, but before you even primer, if you fit the collar to her and you fit your water effects to her, and make sure that you don't let them warp after you're done with that, and by that I mean don't put them in a box and put something on them and have it twist and turn, then when you go to apply them afterwards, when you're done finished painting her, you can have something that's hopefully not going to go on and scratch up your finish. So, one thing that a lot of people, whoops, the whole table moved. One thing that a lot of people don't know about, and I'll show you really quick, is the hot water trick. Cup of water. That one might not be warm enough anymore, but, oh no, it's still pretty warm. Yeah, wow, hot. And you can essentially heat most any resin up and fix a warping resin with hot water. Sometimes I like to quench it afterwards with cold water, but however you do it, take it out, fit it to your horse, say, oh, I want it this big, and then put it on a table and let it cool off in place. Nice level surface. I mean, it doesn't have to be a table, but something that's level, and I prefer stone or glass actually. Countertops would be great. So that's one way to go about doing it. Also, the hot water trick works really well for the water effects. So these you're going to want to cut off with a pair of scissors, cut these little shapes out. You can trim them down as small as possible. I made them pretty big so that you can trim them up any way you want with your Dremel, but I strongly recommend that you soften them and cut them out this way first, because look at how wonderfully soft that becomes. That's just great. And otherwise, you can crack this and break it off, and it's like a little sheet of glass. So you're going to want to make sure, and when it's firm, see, here's one that I bent, and now that's pretty hard. Okay, so those are two things that you should definitely know about the hot water and the fitting. And you're really going to want to make sure you have your prepper go through and fit it all before they primer it up, because you don't want to scratch your finish. So as you can see, sticky wax or glue in the end is a must. I think, anyhow. I mean, it can always come on and off loosely, or you can just leave it off. I mean, it's entirely up to you, but I find that most people get the feel of her swimming better when they so it has a nice chin fit under the water collar, and you can see how it sits on the mane and perches there, and how under the jaw it's shaped, and there are some loose spots, and you could completely fill those in with sticky wax. The point is, looser is better. Sticky wax is your friend, or glue. And as you see, it does want to tip off, and if it doesn't want to tip off, it may be too tight for your finish. Also, I'll quick show you She is attached by magnets. They're reasonably strong. You know, they're not the kind of magnets where I would trust doing that. Okay. She's definitely pretty stable up there, and the seaweed is pretty well reinforced with steel rods to make sure that it doesn't warp. And these are things that we worked on to make her technically, these are things that we worked on to make her technically stand a bit better for you. So I really hope that everyone can use this video to display their casting and not ruin their finishes and enjoy. So thank you so much for watching.